Can you imagine?
Okay.
Wow.
Check.
Microphone check 1, 2. Let's get this.
Hey, let's get this. Hey, welcome to the Young Brothers Sports Talk Podcast, featuring my man O.
What up?
And your man KY. We're going to do this a weekly podcast during the season. We've already taped one. This is our second episode.
Número dos.
We will be going live. If you've come to this establishment, you know we love sports. We grew up in sports, and we talk a lot of trash. So come on down, get your trash talk on, have your fantasy football meetings, talks. We do the fifth quarter for the North Side Steelers. So come on down, enjoy it. We talk a lot of sports.
And we tailgate every Sunday. Every
Sunday
for the Steeler games. We got something going on here, something on the grill, you know.
We go to the game. We're about 10 minutes from the stadium. So come on down if you're from out of town. Hey, we're about 2 miles from Heinz Field, 1.5 miles from Rivers Casino. So come on down and see us, party with us before the game, and you can make it to the game, and believe me, you'll be there on time.
Exactly.
But check, this last week's game, man.
Nail biter.
We got
nail biter. We can never do things the easy way. We always got to do things the hard way.
And I don't know what's going on, but it seems like we always play down to our competition.
Yes.
And we play up to our competition, except the New England Patriots. We will get y'all this year.
Yes.
But this week's game, 28-21. Nail biter, though. I mean,
nail
it was
biter.
A 7-point game, but it was a nail biter down there in Cincy.
It was. I mean, they took them down to the wire. The Steelers get the ball back with 1:20 left, and they made it happen. They made it happen. All they needed was a field goal to win the game.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we didn't have to rely on Boswell. We were able to get it done in regulation.
Chris, come on, man. Your confidence is shot. Let's go, baby.
Exactly. But, hey, it's a win. I'll take it. And on to the next one. We got this little bye coming up, so, you know,
I do want to talk about a couple of these plays in this game. You know what I mean? We will recap every week, each game. We do watch film, per se. And we just want to talk about a couple of the plays and maybe get some of your feedback and reaction on, you know, what kind of coaching changes you would have done during the game, in-game coaching changes, if it was scheme, personnel, anything like that. But for that first quarter, man, I tell you what, it started out like it was going to be the old, you know, we're coming from behind. I mean, we went to that Jacksonville game, and since then it seems like we've been scratching and clawing from behind.
Yep.
We can never play with a lead, comfortable lead.
And we've been slow starters.
We're
real slow starters.
Yeah.
First quarter, first drives. I mean,
that first quarter was 7-0 Cincy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it was Tyler Boyd on that first touchdown.
Yep.
I think he had the first 2 touchdowns. Matter of fact, Tyler Boyd for Cincy. But the first communication problem I saw was Big Ben. We love him, and last year they didn't run the quarterback sneak, but he finally hits the quarterback sneak for a first down in that first quarter, and there's a timeout called.
Yep.
I mean, to me, who's in the headset?
Exactly. And just for those of you who haven't followed closely, one of the things that came to light last year about the Pittsburgh Steelers is that the Pittsburgh Steelers did not have a quarterback sneak in their repertoire.
At all.
That was one of those little things that Todd Haley and Ben had, and Todd Haley says that there was a quarterback sneak in the playbook, and Ben says there wasn't. Tomlin says there was, and then
it's blame game.
It's a mess. But anyway, we get it right, but then we call a timeout and negate a first down, and it would have been a first down by like 2 yards, but we'll get it right next time.
The other one was it was a punt return. I think Switzer let the ball hit around the 36.
Yes.
36-yard line.
Yes, and he let the ball travel 20 yards backwards.
Yeah, I think we ended up on a 16.
Yes, we lost 20 yards of field position in a play in which I mean, that kid, he's got great hands.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That was just one of those plays where, he fell asleep a little bit instead of hustling his ass over there and getting up underneath it and catching it. But I got all the confidence in the world that
I do too.
Yeah,
I like the kid. I like the kid. Now the other thing, just schematically, I saw Vince Williams running with AJ Green, Chicolo, on Tyler Boyd for the TD, where Tyler just went to the flat.
Yeah.
And I caught that ball on him. I mean, just schematically, or do you think the 3-4 is even attainable in NFL? Is it?
Well, the thing is, in today's NFL, they're really not playing the traditional 3-4 down after down like they did in the past.
You're right.
Today, you have a lot of exotic defenses. You have dime defenses.
Right.
And you have multiple defensive backs that are employed.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got defenses in which we've got virtually every DB on the roster on the field at the same time, from Mike Hilton.
Yeah, Hilton's playing almost a middle linebacker almost.
Exactly.
And some,
the kid Cameron Sutton is on the field. They mix Artie in there, unfortunately, and then you got Joe Hayden and. There's a lot of exotic defenses in which, we're not in traditional lineups, and some of the different responsibilities are flip-flopped. So, we'll have Chicolo in pass coverage covering the flat, which I don't think is a very smart idea, by the way.
No.
I'd rather have him with his ears pinned back getting after the quarterback, as opposed to trying to play the flat against one of the NFL's up-and-coming young receivers. It's not a good matchup, and that's one of those things where people make you adjust to certain things.
And he's a Pittsburgh kid.
Yeah,
he's a Pittsburgh kid from
kid
Clareton,
and doing
Tyler
very
Boyd.
well.
Shout out Tyler Boyd.
Shout out to Clareton.
Shout out to my boy, the twin, Dre and Drew Carr. Keep it going with them kids out there. Keep them active. Keep them programs going, fellas.
Exactly.
Now here's my one wild play of that quarter was T.J. McDonald. At one point, we always talk about our offensive line, and we will hit on them later on, but T.J. McDonald took on 3 guys.
Yes.
And one thing I can say is he's not buying tickets, though.
Yes.
He's not in the stands watching.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, he helped out on the, I think it was the DN. Then he climbs to the linebacker.
To the second level.
The linebacker fights through the block, and then he goes and hits the safety.
Exactly.
I mean,
the safety needed some of the business too.
Yes.
See, I can't say enough about guys like that who can't find enough people to hit. A guy who wants to go out and get physical, lay hands upon people, and out physical people, and I love that about this kid. And Pittsburgh, we need to let this guy develop his own identity. This shit that we keep doing with every time a tight end touches the ball, post Heath, all of this Heath. Heath is gone. Heath is gone. And matter of fact, we got King Kong running around smashing people is what we got. We got a fast King Kong who's manhandling folks.
What was that last game? He ran through 3 guys?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
He ran through 3
and
guys.
even this game, I mean, Burfict comes up to hit him and slides off him like he had silicone on his backside. I mean, slid off him.
He made 2 of them mistake.
Yes.
Yes. Good run.
He carries people. He out-physicals people. I think Chris Conte still has a concussion from the ultimate stiff arm slam.
Yeah, slam / mugging.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Almost Central Park mugging.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But it's good to see that type of physicality come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right. And it's good to see it come back on the offensive side.
Yes.
On the offensive side of the ball.
I was kind of skeptical when we received, when we traded for T.J. McDonald from San Francisco, and he probably stayed hurt a year and a half. his first 2 years.
Yeah.
He was hurt a year and a half of those first 2 years, and I kind of doubted why the Steelers would keep him on the roster, but I can see why now.
Yeah,
but
well,
now,
they scouted him hard coming out of Rice.
Yes.
He played at Rice in college,
Yes.
and during the recruiting process or the scouting process, he received a lot of scrutiny from the Steelers, but he ended up getting drafted by the 49ers.
Yes.
The Steelers kept him on their radar, and when opportunity presented itself, they went ahead and executed a trade. And the only thing with the guy is he's had a little bit of a problem staying healthy.
Yeah.
And at one point he had missed more games than he played
Cross our fingers.
for the Steelers. Yes, cross our fingers because
we need him. Yeah.
We need him. The guy's a physical presence.
Jesse James is not the answer. I thought Jesse James had a shot to, replace Heath Miller and become that perennial All-Pro Pittsburgh Steeler tight end.
Yeah, but you know what though, Jesse,
he serves his purpose.
Jesse plays hard.
Yes,
Jesse plays hard
to the best of his abilities.
To the best of his abilities.
Yes,
he's not the greatest athlete at that position, but he's more than serviceable.
Yes.
He's a jack of all trades. He can give you just a little bit of everything, but he doesn't do one thing absolutely great or anything like that. But he's more than serviceable. But again, McDonald is the truth. He's the truth, and if we can keep this dude healthy, it's like having a reincarnation of Hines Ward and having that ability to mash people.
At 265.
Yes, and can run.
Yes.
He runs like a deer.
Now, moving out of that first quarter, we were down 7-0. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we're watching the game, and, of course, it's the old, here we go again type of feeling.
Yeah.
But we did come back. We scored, tied it up in that second quarter. But one thing that really disturbed me was the challenge. There was a play with Switzer, who was going for a first down. I think he ran it was some type of out. I know it was towards the sideline. I don't know if it was a 10-yard out, a 5-yard out, but he was short, clearly short. And
it was
whoever called it in from upstairs, get him the fuck out of the booth. Because I tell you what, he missed one later on. We'll talk about it. He misses one later on, ladies and gents. But he makes the call downstairs to throw the red flag. And, come on. That was one of the times we wasted.
It was a play that was inconsequential. It wasn't as if there was something to be gained in that particular situation to challenge it then.
Right.
It clearly looked to be short, but, that's one of those things that, hopefully our coaching staff can do better next time.
Yeah. Now the other points I want to make about that second quarter is Ben, at 4 minutes left in that second quarter, Ben was 10 of 16 for 110 yards. But 6 of those passes were completed to his tight ends.
Yes.
Big Ben is getting into that groove where I figured, when Jesse James came out, that we would use more tight ends down the hash, and it looks like Big Ben is starting to do that.
Yes, he's starting to do that, and again, McDonald, we're moving him around a little bit. We've even split him out wide.
Playing a lot of 2 tight end.
Yes, playing a lot of 2 tight end, and that gives us some flexibility in terms of being able to mash people in the run game, and also, sneak people behind the linebackers and get some things going on along the hashes.
Right.
So it's good.
Now the other play in that quarter was Juju went up and got a ball.
Oh yes.
And I tell you what, he did a somersault, right at the goal line. It was at the half-yard line.
Yes.
Maybe the 6-inch line. And he does a somersault. Now, that's where I thought we maybe should have challenged that play.
I haven't seen a robbery like that since the one I saw in the Hill District back in '88.
Okay.
That was a straight robbery.
Okay.
Darquez Denard goes up and puts his hands on the ball.
Right.
And my man goes over him and grabs it and says, "Thank you, give me that."
Give me that.
And then he does a somersault, rolls on his feet with the ball in hand, talking about touchdown. And Truth be told, he owed us that because he had a couple of drops earlier in the game during that first quarter when the offense couldn't get things clicking.
Right.
Part of that was due to some drops that he had.
Exactly.
One pass that was put on the right there over his shoulder in the end zone. He drops it.
Juju's having a season.
Exactly. I'm nitpicking. I'm nitpicking because
you are.
Juju is balling.
Yes, he's having a season.
He's balling.
But my point about that was we already wasted a timeout on the challenge we lost. So, of course, we probably couldn't have challenged it at that point because we had wasted another timeout before that. We were down to one timeout, I'm pretty sure, when that play happened.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where what you did in the past comes back to bite you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that call came down from upstairs. But that play at the end of the quarter, or at the end of that, right before half, where Artie Burns is playing man-to-man on Tyler Boyd and stems his back pedal to the inside towards the goalpost, creating distance. And we're up. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. That kickoff return definitely was a big difference.
We gave up half the field.
Yeah, they were probably on the 48. They may have been on the Pittsburgh Steelers 48, actually. They may have been in our territory at that point.
Same thing, close enough.
Tyler Boyd made a couple catches to get him down there. But that play right before the half where Artie Burns is playing Tyler Boyd man-to-man, and he's backpedaling, and he backpedals 3 to 4 to 5 yards maybe in that end zone. I mean, that's DB 101.
Yes.
That shows me he has no confidence.
Exactly.
That shows me that if that's his strength, which is of course man-to-man with Artie Burns, if that's his strength, then his confidence is shot because he was totally scared of Tyler Boyd, and Tyler Boyd only had 5 yards to get to the end zone.
Later that evening, the Rod father, Rod Woodson, who was just here.
He was here two weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, before the Baltimore game.
Before the Baltimore game.
Shout out to Rod Woodson.
Shout out to Big Rod. The Rod father was in town, but, he looked at that play, and he, being the sage that he is, immediately diagnosed the fact that, you have got to defend the goal line.
Yes.
Put your heels on the goal line.
Yeah.
Make the guy commit one way or the other.
Coach Hoke would have had a fit.
Oh my God.
We played at Kent State, but I tell you what, Coach Hoke, John Hoke.
Shout out to Coach Hoke.
Yes, sir. Hey, he would have had a fit. You know what I mean?
As
he was said, it's the band's playing, the babies are crying. It's touchdown.
Exactly.
It's touchdown, and that's exactly what happened. Touchdown.
Exactly, and that was easy money. It's easy money. Anytime you're backing up in the end zone,
Andy Dalton,
you're just giving
Andy Dalton. You get no props for that.
Exactly.
You get no
dude just gave you more
stripes.
opportunity to throw the ball wherever the hell you wanted to throw the ball.
Stripes for you, Andy Dalton, at all. Not on that play. Now going into that third quarter, of course, we're tied up. We're tied up 14-14. And James Conner, again, here's another one of those things where, again, communication, whether it's between upstairs, downstairs, coaching to the quarterback or to the middle linebacker with calls, making timeouts. That run, again, I thought should have been challenged. It clearly
You're
looked
speaking
like,
of the touchdown run.
Well,
that should have been a touchdown run.
It wasn't, but it should have been a touchdown run.
Yes.
Yes.
It really should have.
It was about 8:16 left in that third quarter.
Yeah.
James Conner made a hell of a run, and I thought he kept his shoulder off the ground long enough for the ball to break the plane of the end zone.
That was one of the most nimble touchdowns you will ever see in your lifetime. The guy gets hit at the 5-yard line. He's able to put his hand down to grab his balance real quick, and then he throws his shoulder around and holds his shoulder up off the ground, long enough for the ball to break the plane of the end zone. I mean, the dude is obviously taking some Pilates classes or something, and he was straight Gumby on that shit.
Yeah.
And he made it happen. And you've got to challenge plays like that.
Yeah.
That was clearly a touchdown. I mean, The ball broke the plane before his shoulder blades touched the ground.
Yeah.
So that had to be a touchdown.
Had to be a touchdown.
Subsequently, we had 3 cracks to get it into the end zone.
And we settled for a field goal.
Yes.
On that drive.
Yes.
And on that drive also, it was, I think on the third down, 3rd and inches, of course, or 3rd and goal, however you want to call it, we watched the offensive line literally turn around and watch James Conner being thrashed in the backfield by the Cincinnati Bengals defense. And that's one of those things where when we were talking about in the first quarter where James McDonald or TJ McDonald hit 3 defenders.
Yes.
That's one of those examples where in film you point at McDonald and you tell your offensive lineman, go hit an opposite jersey.
Exactly.
I mean, that was just unacceptable.
Yes.
I mean, it was totally unacceptable. They're watching this man get hit in the backfield, and I just couldn't understand that.
Guys standing around. I mean, one of the things that kind of dogged this team early in the season is in games in which James Conner hasn't had the greatest rushing numbers. If you take a closer look at those games, you'll find a lot of instances in which folks from the other team are in the backfield right now.
Right now.
And
the Cleveland game.
Yes.
Yes.
The
right
Cleveland
now.
game.
Miles Garrett had a field day.
The Chiefs game.
Chiefs game.
Certainly the Baltimore Ravens game.
Yes.
The Baltimore Ravens game was just atrocious. And when we block for this guy, he makes it happen.
He does.
You block for him, you get him on the second level,
Yes.
and he's going to build up a head of steam. He's going to plant his foot in the ground and declare one way or the other.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. With 5:17 left in that third quarter, there was a run. We were on our own 24-yard line. That may have been one of the best 16-yard runs I've seen.
Yes. Yes.
In a long time.
Yes.
In Pittsburgh. I can say all the way back to Bettis, maybe.
That run it has to go down in Steeler history and in Steeler lore, just because of the fact that one of the participants, I'll call him a participant, one of the participants,
he gets a trophy,
is one and the same Vontaze Burfict. Well, as it turns out, James Conner felt like helping Vontaze have a seat.
Yes.
But before he helped Vontaze have a seat, he decided to pass out a concussion to the strong safety.
Yes.
And he slams him down to the ground.
Who never returned.
No, he didn't return. He was done for the day after that.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
So he slams him, and then he keeps going, and then he slams Burfict next.
Yep.
And Burfict, in the process of getting slammed, throws off the free safety, and he goes ahead and he rambles off another 4 yards at the end of that little those collisions. Collisions.
On the way to his 100-yard game and a concussion.
Yes.
Yeah. He's handing out concussions now.
Yes. He's passing out concussions like Halloween candy.
Yeah.
So it's that time of the year. Halloween in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So he's practicing concussions. Jujubes.
And stiff arms.
And all of
whatever
that.
you need.
Passing it out.
So we in that third quarter, we were up 17-14. But again, one of those things where we just give the lead up, we fall behind. It's late in the fourth quarter.
We can never
TJ McDonald. We're driving. We're down at that point, or no? I think we were up at that point. We were still up at that point, 17-14. TJ McDonald is. We're driving. He fumbles the ball. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Johnny on the spot.
Once again.
Johnny on the spot.
Juju Smith-Schuster is having a hell of a year, ladies and gentlemen. A hell of a year.
If he doesn't jump on that ball that McDonald fumbles, that game could have went in a different direction.
Man, Juju. But we end up settling for a field goal, and we go up 20-14 at that point. Okay? And there's 3:32 left. Once again, we let them off the hook, and we let them drive down. Now they're up 21-20.
Yeah.
And Big Ben, 10 seconds left. He's driving us, and he probably makes one of the better checks I've seen Big Ben make in a long time.
Yes.
A long time.
Yes. Yes. That was a perfect example of two professionals being on the same page. Both of them, they go to the line of scrimmage. They see a sight adjustment that needs to be made, being that the guys come out in a cover zero, meaning that there was no safety, no help over the top.
None. Zero.
So anytime you come out and you try to guard Antonio Brown with no safety over the top, with all of that green behind you, you just fucked up. And what happened? They fucked
You're
up.
in trouble.
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
In trouble.
In big trouble.
You're in trouble. And, hey, the Steelers were clicking. They were on all cylinders.
Yep.
Prior to that pass, Juju, again, had a couple of big catches to convert third down situations and move the ball and put them in position for Ben and AB to have that telepathy and make it happen the way they did. But, hey, you can't say enough to about these guys playing for 60 minutes, playing hard, flying around, and being physical.
Right.
And kudos to these guys. It was a great win. And, again.
Hey, we got another 2-point conversion.
Yep.
Cap that off, too.
Another 2-point conversion.
To
Juju.
Yes, to Juju.
Just for good measure.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Now, looking at our division, though, our division is I'm going to tell you what. I think our division is probably one of the tougher divisions in the league. Because even though Cleveland's in last place, Cleveland has a very formidable defense.
Yes, they
who
do.
can keep them in any game. And if Baker Mayfield just has a non-turnover, manage a game type of Trent Dilfer performance.
Yes.
I mean, they can do some damage in this.
Well,
so right now, since he's
I don't know about that. Because when they come to Pittsburgh, we're not going to see that same team that we saw in Cleveland.
I understand.
They have no Josh Gordon.
I
and
understand.
the young kid that they just drafted, the wide receiver out of the University of Florida, he's hurt too, and chances are he won't play against us.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is from first to worst in our division is probably closer than most divisions.
Oh, without question.
You know what I'm
without
saying?
question.
We have 3 teams for sure that are all playoff caliber teams.
If we win the next 2 games, we're in first place in the division.
I agree.
With the slow start that we've had, we already have the tiebreaker on Cincy.
Yes.
You know, and Baltimore is sitting there with 2 losses thus far.
Yes. So we'll go over that. Cincy's 4-2 at this point.
Yes.
Baltimore's 4-2 at this point. Our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers were 3-2-1. We'll get that tie back. And then the Cleveland Browns are 2-3-1.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't think they'd have 2 wins this year. I'll tell you that. I didn't.
No.
So.
Well, they're getting better. I mean, if you draft first every year, or if you're in the top 5 every year, damn it, you got to get it right at some point. At some point, you got to get the shit right.
Yeah.
And you got to hit on something.
Yeah.
So,
because I tell you what, that Myles Garrett, that play he had on Connors in the backfield up there in Cleveland, I mean, he was like a man-child that day.
Yeah, he was.
You know.
He was a bull in the china shop, and he wrecked our shit.
Yeah.
He wrecked our shit.
Yeah.
And we
But James Conner still had that game.
Yeah.
James Conner still had a hell of a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, he did.
If we would have won that game, he would have definitely been MVP. That's for sure.
Without question.
And now talking about Connors, your man's coming back. We don't know when, but Le'Veon's coming back. You know, I definitely believe he's the best tailback in the game right now, today. Maybe not tomorrow.
I thoroughly disagree with that.
Well,
he's definitely top 5 all day. I'd argue
right now,
top 3. Yes,
I would give Le'Veon the top. I mean, you can argue between 3 of them: Ezekiel, Gurley, Le'Veon Bell. But to me, I'm a Steelers fan. Le'Veon's the best. But he's coming back, nonetheless. He's not back yet. It's bye week. He was supposed to be back. He's not back yet, so he'll be back week 8.
It's important that he gives back as much money as he possibly can to the Roonies because they need it. They're billionaires. They're billionaires. You know, tis the season.
Well, I mean,
sharing is caring.
I do think that when Le'Veon comes back, they will split carries. I definitely believe that it will be a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
They aren't going to pay a guy $853,000 a week and not use him. I mean, I can tell you that. Billionaires aren't into just losing money or just wasting money.
No, they're not.
So, in saying that, what do you feel that the Pittsburgh Steelers how should they utilize James Conner from here moving forward, or when Le'Veon gets back moving forward?
Well, you're making the assumption that Le'Veon's going to come home, the prodigal son is going to return, and everything's going to be love, peace, and hair grease. I think that there's a legitimate shot that the Pittsburgh Steelers part ways with him. I think that after he signs,
that's big, ladies
and gentlemen. I think that after he signs his tender, then they're going to try to see if there are any trade opportunities out there.
That's big.
Now, there's been all of this trade talk, blah, 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 for weeks.
Yeah.
However, all of that means nothing because they couldn't talk trades back then.
Because he hasn't signed.
Yes. After he signs his tender,
then the talks can start.
The talks can start. And again, let me just say, don't be surprised if the Steelers part ways. Now, if they don't part ways, I think that we're in an optimal situation in that, look, Le'Veon doesn't want all the work. He's gone on the record and said,
well, his agent. Well, we can't miss it because Le'Veon tweets a lot, so we don't want a lot of tweets from Le'Veon. And their tweets from Le'Veon, they better be good tweets. You know what I mean? We are from Northside, boy.
Yeah.
We don't play that Flint, Michigan, or wherever you from. So come on with it, and you play on Northside.
Actually, I think he's from Ohio. Somewhere.
Oh yeah, he's from Columbus. Is he from Columbus?
In that area, or
something like that. But you're on Northside, so you know what I mean, Le'Veon. Hey, like I said, I think you're the best in the business. But I mean, I know as businessmen what owners look at, and they look at return on investment.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And when a guy wants a whole bunch of money, and there's some liabilities in signing that guy and some trust issues that you can't always, shell out that much money up front.
Yeah.
So we looked at Gurley. I think Gurley was making $21 million a year, $21 million signing bonus. And I think Le'Veon's talking more like 40, 50 million signing bonus. Because let's not get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. He says guaranteed money, but he's talking signing bonus. The only thing guaranteed is the signing bonus. So, I mean, we looked at Gurley. Gurley signed for, I think it was 50 million, but 21 was guaranteed.
Yep.
It was something like that.
Well, 21 was the bonus.
Was the bonus. His
21
signing
was the
bonus.
bonus. So he got 21 million up front.
Right. Okay. So we looked at some numbers, looking at James Conner and we're the Roonies, and we're looking at James Conner and Le'Veon Bell. James Conner makes $578,000 for the whole year. Okay, that puts him at $34,000 per week. Okay, right now through 6 games, James Conner's sitting at 453 yards rushing. Oh, he's 5th in the league. He's 5th in the league, and what you pointed out earlier, he's only 12 yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
12 yards from
second place
in the whole NFL. We're not talking AFC. We're not talking division. We're talking behind Todd Gurley.
Yes.
12 yards, second place. He has a 4.4 yard average and 7 rushing TDs, which has only been matched by Franco Harris in 1976 and Jerome Bettis in 2004.
Yeah.
That's
Steeler history.
That's
Steeler history, and this is a team that's got a historic backfield.
Wow.
The guys that have come through these doors to play running back. to achieve that's pretty big.
That gives me
That's
chills
pretty
to even
big.
think about those two guys.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Jerome.
Indeed,
Hall of Fame.
indeed.
Love
Bussy,
kicking it.
love you, Bussy,
Best Hall of Fame parties ever.
by far.
Now, James Conner, right now, through 6 games, has 257 yards receiving, and that's on 26 receptions. He did fumble twice, but he only lost once. That was that Cleveland game. I'm pretty sure that was that Cleveland game.
Yeah.
He lost that fumble. But if you're looking at yards and how much you're paying a guy, James Conner's making 300. Let me get it right. He's making $301 per yard, okay? And per touchdown, James Conner's making $29,142. Now let's compare that to Le'Veon, okay? Mind you, Le'Veon through 6 games last year. We can only go on last year. Le'Veon, you're not here, so we got to go on last year. Last year, Le'Veon Bell was sitting at through 6 games, 706 total yards. 4 yards less than James Conner's.
Yes.
Okay. He was making $7,248 per yard. In 6 games, we paid James Conner $204,000. Through 6 games, we would have paid Le'Veon almost 5.2, somewhere around there, $5.1 million we would have paid Le'Veon.
And counting.
And counting.
And counting. That
Yes.
he's giving back.
Yes. So per yard,
Dumbass.
per yard, again, we're paying Le'Veon $7,248 compared to $301. Per touchdown, you know what Le'Veon's getting?
What's that?
$1.2 million. Because he only had 4 touchdowns. James Conner has 7. So when you're looking at it from an owner's perspective, I mean, like I said, Le'Veon's the best in the business, but the big elephant in the room, huh?
Yep.
There's a big elephant in the room.
Yep. And you know, part of me definitely wants to see these guys coexist, and definitely wants to.
I want you to get your money, Le'Veon. I want you to get all the money you can.
I do.
But you're leaving 5.2 on the table.
Exactly, and you should cut that out. Cut it out. Come back. Make this bread. Try to stay healthy. You've got all of this money waiting for you on the other side of the road.
Yes, you do.
You know,
You're going to get
you're
paid.
passing up money, trying to chase money, and you know a bird in the hand beats 2 in the bush.
Hey, Gurley had 1 year left on his contract still.
Yep.
They might as well sign him early. It was almost like you always compared to like the AB deal.
Yep.
When Emmanuel Sanders or who was it? Emmanuel Sanders or no? It was
No, it's Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace.
Mike
left.
Wallace. We couldn't come to terms with him. The Steelers
Right.
did everything that they could
Right.
to try to pay Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace didn't want the money.
So we turned around and gave the money to AB.
Antonio
and signed
Brown.
him for $40 million.
And we signed him early.
Which was cheap.
Which was cheap and
Yes.
saved money, which is the same thing that the Rams did with Gurley.
He had
They
a
jumped
year
on it
left his
early
contract. Exactly.
so that they could pay him less over the long stretch.
Hey,
now
in,
as
in
far as
2-3 years, that's going to look cheap for Gurley.
yes. Now another thing with Gurley, have you? No, I don't recall him smoking weed on the way to the airport.
No.
No, I don't think that ever happened.
No.
So
That's the elephant in the room.
Yeah, that's one of the elephants in the room.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Is that there's a little bit of a history there, and unfortunately,
I think if Le'Veon gets caught with one more blunt, joint, vape, whatever you
then
want to
he's
say.
banned. He's banned.
Yeah, for a year.
He's banned.
Yeah. So if you give a guy 40, 50 million signing bonus, and he has to walk away.
Well, you diminish your brand is what you did, dogs.
Yeah.
You diminished your own brand. And there's a lot of that goes on here in sports nowadays. I could go on ad nauseum, starting with Odell Beckham Jr., but we're not going to go there. That's somebody else's problem. But, dog, I mean, it's time to end this madness. Come back, rejoin your brothers, make this cash, and make a dash for number 7.
That's right.
I mean,
that's right.
That's the thing that bothers me the most about the decision is that
yes.
this is a good football team.
It is.
This is a good football team.
And we're maturing.
Yes.
We're maturing. We have some pups turning into dogs.
Yes.
And I tell you what, even on the defensive side, you know, whether it be Sutton, T.J. Watt,
Mike Hilton.
hey, and I don't really rock with him, but Bud Dupree's even playing okay lately.
Yeah, he's playing better.
Better.
He's playing better. He's playing better.
Better. Now,
but we got guys that are, you know, in place to make plays, and they're making plays.
Yes. Yes.
Numerous times in this past game, Cameron Sutton demonstrated proper technique in terms of the ball's in the air, and he's locating the ball, and he's putting his hand in the basket, breaking up passes.
I like Cam Sutton.
You know,
I like Cam Sutton.
If you go back to the Browns game, he had troubles, as did all of our DBs, locating the ball in the air. And, you know, he's fixed that.
Yes.
You know, we've got Mike Hilton, who's been very active as well.
Yes.
You know, sticking his hand in the breadbasket and getting the ball on the ground. And hey, I like what I'm seeing. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm seeing improvement. I'm seeing guys who know where to line up, guys that are making adjustments. They're communicating with each other.
Yes, they are.
And more importantly, they're flying around and making plays.
Making plays. I like that. I like that. Now looking at the play of the game, or the turning point in that game, I mean, I can't say there was a turning point, but I mean, we mentioned the Connors run, but the play of the game, again, had to be the Big Ben check to AB.
Yes.
That was my play of the game.
Yes.
Now, who I have is for player of the game, JC.
Yep. James Conner. James Conner, that's my boy. That's the dude that, hey, I've been in plenty of a debate down here at Young Brothers in terms of James Conner. I was one of the few who told everyone exactly what James Conner would be doing. And I told everyone this earlier in the summer, earlier in the spring, and it's good to see my man getting some shine. You know, I even got my Steelers pajamas on because people have been sleeping on Connors. So I added the pajamas because y'all were sleeping on them, and the jersey just to show some appreciation for this young kid that's out here balling.
Hey.
And like I said a long time ago, if one dude don't want that work, I know somebody else wants that work.
Yes.
And here's a guy who's making a fraction of what the other guy was scheduled to make. He's making a fraction of it.
Yes.
He's not even making $1 million.
No.
He's not even making $1 million.
Not at all.
And you know, the guy's going out there and again, the Steelers' return on investment is
a lot greater.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Now, James
close.
finished that game with 111 yards rushing, 2 TDs. He also added 18 yards receiving.
Yeah.
Now you have Big Ben. Again, Big Ben was 32 of 46 for 369 yards and a touchdown. Of course, the AB.
No turnovers.
No turnovers. Juju. You know what was interesting? Juju and Connors finished with the same amount of yards.
Yes.
Juju had 111 yards receiving. AB, who was having a pretty pedestrian game and had a cheap shot.
You know what, though?
Hold
up, Keith. You know what? We are remiss. Yesterday, NFL.com named the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line as the offensive line of the week.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
NFL.com.
It doesn't take much.
Offensive line of the week.
We watch them. It doesn't take much.
And
we'll take it.
We've been hard on you guys in some instances, and rightfully so. But you know, I want to give credit where credit is due. You guys were out there balling. Marquise Pouncey pulling from the center position, doing shit that everybody can't do. There's maybe 5 centers in all of football, 5 out of 32 dudes who can snap the ball and move around the end and secure the edge. Hit a guy, get him on the ground.
When you get a guy on the edge, they're usually quick.
Yeah, they're the quicker guys. The corners, the safeties, And
maybe an outside linebacker.
Yes.
You're usually on the corner or safety.
Yes, and Pouncey is that quick and that athletic to make that play.
Yes.
And James Conner had 2 huge runs on 2 of those plays that I can think of offhand. And again, kudos to the offensive line. Keep it up. Hopefully, these guys can improve upon this performance. Certainly, Cleveland is a great opportunity to do so, given that Cleveland kind of gave us the business in game 1. So
Did they?
Hopefully,
You couldn't blame that on the weather.
No.
Yeah, that wasn't the rain. That wasn't any of that. That was poor coaching. We weren't ready. The slow start. I mean,
Underestimated
we
them.
can go on and on and on and on. But AB finished with 5 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown, and Chris Boswell hit both his.
Yeah,
Chris Boswell. There you go.
Chris, my man.
You know what I mean? So, but again, looking back, game 1 through game 6, definitely see a lot of improvement. Of improvement. We're just worried about the chemistry, I think, now. Once Le'Veon comes back, again, I don't get it. I mean, I hate to keep going back to it, but I just don't get it, though, when you're talking salary cap, collective bargaining agreement, franchise tags that were all already negotiated. I mean, it's almost, in the NFL, you know what you're walking into. I mean, I hate to say, you almost don't need an agent anymore. I mean, you do, but it's pretty slotted. I mean, it's pretty slotted, though. I mean, you're this ranked running back, you're probably getting this much money. And yes, you're going to leapfrog the guy the next year, but it's pretty slotted, though. I mean, let's be real. I mean, whatever his agent's telling him or advice he's giving him, I mean, every team has the same amount of money to spend every year, and usually it's the quarterback who gets the most money.
The quarterbacks, the cornerbacks, the pass rushers, and the left tackles.
Yes. Get the most money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we looked at it the other day, and was it Saquon who was the first running back that even shows up and the highest paid? Something like that. But, of course, he's a rookie. He got the big signing bonus. You know, we looked at the Steelers roster the other day. There was Big Ben gets $23 million, then it drops all the way down to, $14 million?
Yep.
Something like that with AB.
Well, it would have been 14 and a half had our boy Bell showed up.
Right.
But essentially, you know, I call it the 6, 7, 8 club. On every football team, you have players that are making 6 figures, you have players that are making 7 figures, and you have players that are making 8 figures.
Yeah, not many.
Not many.
Yeah, not many 8-figure guys.
For instance, on the Pittsburgh Steelers, there are 3 dudes who are making 8 figures. Those 3
who
dudes,
are those 3 guys?
Those 3 dudes would be Ben Roethlisberger making about $23 million.
Okay.
And then we've got Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden is making around $11 million.
All right.
And then you got Marquise Pouncey, who's making about $10 million and change.
Right.
Behind them, believe it or not,
Or the 7.
yes,
Seven
are the
figure.
7-figure guys. And believe it or not, Antonio Brown
Is a
seven-figure guy.
Yeah.
He's not even an 8-figure guy. Antonio Brown
the best guy on our team.
Yes, the best guy on our team
Probably. Yeah.
probably is making just under $8 million for the year.
Wow.
Now, I say all of this to say again, we have a guy who passed up the chance to be number 2 on the team at $14.5 million for the season.
For 1 year.
For 1 year. And again, the way that NFL, the way that the salary cap works is you've got 9 guys in the case of the Steelers. You got 9 guys at the top of the food chain. 9.
How many guys are on the roster?
There are 53 men on the roster.
Okay.
So out of 53 men on the roster, 9 guys are eating up 48% of the salary cap.
Wow.
9 guys are eating up 48% of the salary cap.
Yeah.
And then you've got 44 dudes who are splitting 52% of the salary cap. So now Le'Veon used to be in the 44 players that were splitting 52%.
Right.
Now, last year he got an opportunity
to be part of the 9-player club.
Well, he was a part of the 8-figure club.
Yes.
He was a part of the 8-figure club.
Yes.
He made $12 million, which placed him about number 2 on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Maybe 3.
Pay scale. Yeah, maybe 3 because AB.
Yeah, AB had just signed his.
Yes. So AB had a little bit more dough coming towards him. But, you know, here's a guy that passed up an opportunity to sit in first class. The dude has been in coach his whole playing career.
Right.
So last year he gets a taste of first class.
Right.
And this year he gets a taste of first class and he turns it down and says, no, I don't want it.
I don't want to put my legs up and eat good.
Exactly. I don't want to be one of the top 2 paid, one of the top 2 compensated guys on the entire team.
Wow.
Making more money in 1 year than
he had his whole
the
career.
Majority.
No, than he had his whole career.
That he's had his whole career.
Yes.
And also making more money in 1 year than the majority of the team will make over the span of their careers.
Yes, exactly. In 1 year.
In 1 year.
And I know you always say, you know, guys go broke, poor money management, you know, spending too much money, kids out of wedlock. I mean, there's a lot of things that come up in these young guys' lives.
Yeah.
You know, you almost got to be the 8-figure guy to be a millionaire now.
Well, it certainly helps. And it certainly helps not to give back money. It certainly helps not to give back money. 80% of NFL players go broke 5 years after retirement. Marinate on that. 80% go broke 5 years after retirement.
8 out of every 10.
Exactly. And, you know, a lot of people misconstrue how much money these guys are actually making. You know, there's 53 guys on the roster. 27 of the 53 make less than $1 million. So a lot of people like to assume that, he's a professional football player. He's a millionaire. There's a whole bunch of thousandaires in the league.
Yeah, 100,000 there.
Exactly, 100,000. The Steelers have 27 out of the 53 dudes on their team.
And Uncle Sam's taking half.
Exactly. now, mind you, those 27, some of the names, and look at some of the production from some of those names on that list.
Yep.
Names like Juju.
Yeah.
Names like Connor.
Yeah.
Dudes that, you know, aren't breaking the bank at all.
All of them, really.
Exactly.
I mean, like you said, there's only 9.
Exactly. There's only 9 dudes at the top of the food chain that's eating up 48% of the cap.
Yeah, after you get below Villanueva, it pretty much falls off.
Yeah, it falls off.
Yeah.
It falls off dramatically.
Yeah.
So.
And right now, Big Ben, number 1 in the league. We got Juju at number 5. We got
Connor
at number 5. We got TJ at
Connor at number 5, who could easily
be number 2.
Be number 2 with the 12-yard margin.
We got TJ at number 4, who's tied with the 3rd place guy. They both have 6 sacks, but his brother, JJ Watt, is in 2nd with 7 sacks. So I mean, you have 2 brothers in the top 5 in sacks. So I mean, we have some guys performing.
Yes.
We have guys performing, and this is all without Le'Veon. I mean, it was all gloom and doom.
Exactly.
You know, we don't have Le'Veon. The
Exactly.
season's over. That Cleveland game probably solidified some of those feelings and sentiment. But, I mean, now looking back, I mean, we're starting to hit our stride, and guys are performing.
There are people, let me put it to you this way. There's still a little bit of hate out there as it relates to Connor, in that, you know, there are some folks who were really counting on saying that the Steelers are having a fucked up year because Le'Veon's not
because
here.
Connor and
Because
Le'Veon's
not here. Oh my God, gloom and doom.
It was like that game one here.
Gloom and doom. Get the fuck out of here. This team has got a lot of talent. This team has started to develop its own identity.
Yep.
This team has a new generation of players that are putting their stamp on their Pittsburgh Steeler experience.
Yes.
James Conner, let me tell you something. Next year this time, James Conner will be your running back.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Well, let me tell you something. If there's one thing for sure, two things for certain, it's that one, James Conner will be the running back next year, and two, Le'Veon Bell will never play for the Pittsburgh Steelers after this season. After whatever works out,
I hope
if he comes back,
I hope they can.
I think the bridges have been burned. Too much has been said, and he's displayed poor football character, if that means anything.
I agree.
Football character, what I mean by football character
in locker rooms, they're huge.
Yes, is having that bond with your teammates so that everyone knows that I got your back and you got my back.
Yeah.
And, one of the marks of great teams is sacrifice.
Yep.
And guys making sacrifices, whether it be their playing time, whether it be the amount of money that they're making, whether it be the amount of risk they assume. I mean, that's part of the game.
Yes, it is.
And everyone has to make sacrifices, and everyone is risking things. And again, you know what? 27 out of the 53 dudes on our roster ain't making $1 million.
No,
they're
not even close.
They're not even close. You got
James Conner's making $578.
Yeah,
and he's the number 5 rusher in the whole NFL.
In the whole NFL,
he's not even making close to.
Nope.
He's taking home less than $500,000.
Nope.
He's taking home less than $500,000.
Yep.
But now looking forward. I do look forward to Le'Veon coming back, so don't get me wrong, ladies and gents. So, I mean, we got to make do what we do. 2 running backs are definitely better than one, especially when cold weather comes and the playoffs hit. We can definitely use those 2 running backs. Hey, we can be thunder and lightning, whatever you want to call
it.
But looking forward to our next 4 games. Like you mentioned earlier, after Cleveland, we have Cleveland here. In Pittsburgh at 1 o'clock, we'll be at that game. Val, Maury, Vance, whoever those Cleveland fans are, want to come down, come on down.
Come get some.
Some of you are already coming down. Simone, get your ass down here. We got Cleveland at 1 o'clock here at home. Then we go to Baltimore. I think we win those 2 games, though.
We're in first place.
I think we're in the driver's seat. We can start filling up the tank and getting ready for the long haul.
Easy, big fella.
No. If we get in the first place, we need to fill the tank up.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we got to be in for the long haul. I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm saying playoff run.
Exactly.
It's time to gas up.
We gotta. I mean, we're gonna have to run the table in order to get a home game.
Exactly. That tie
at home.
That tie's going to mess us up.
It could. It could.
Outside of our division.
It could, but it
outside of our division.
But hold up, though. It could also help you, too.
You're right.
Because a tie is not a loss.
You're right.
It's not a loss.
You're right.
And, in fact, one year, I won a whole lot of bread off of a Giants fan. It was the year that we had a tie against Michael Vick and the Falcons.
Okay.
And the bet was that the Steelers would have a better record than the Giants.
Okay.
And the Giants and the Steelers had different records that ended with me having a tie in my pocket, and I won the bet, even though the losses were the same.
Right. Hey, it made you money.
It happens.
Then we go. Then we got Carolina here. That's going to be a Thursday night game.
Thursday night under the lights. Under the lights.
Yeah, I think we're going to go to that.
Cam Newton.
Anybody want to come down to that game? We're going to tailgate here, and then we'll be headed to Heinz Field, straight from Young Brothers Bar, so you can come on down and catch a rap with us or something. Then after that,
big one.
Big one.
Big one.
To me, they're not playing as well as they were last year, but I want paybacks. I want paybacks.
Jacksonville.
We went to that game, and like you said earlier, I don't think we were in our seats, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
It was 14-0.
No. And you know, Jacksonville is just one of those teams that has always been a thorn in the side of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You're right. And when Coughlin was there.
When Coughlin was there, I mean, all of us can tell stories of where we were when Fred Taylor was giving us the business.
Fred Taylor had career games on the Pittsburgh
Fred
Steelers.
Taylor gave the Steelers all of the business.
Yes,
every time he played us.
He
Oh my God, he said, murder us.
Yep.
And then later, his Maurice Jones-Drew became the second dude to come in and
now
give us
Leonard
the
Fournette.
business. Now Leonard Fournette is
it goes on and on and on.
On and on and on and on and on.
Yep.
But hey, if we can go down there and win that game, and there would be nothing like shutting Jalen Ramsey the fuck up. And I would love another opportunity to go at Jalen Ramsey and shut that motherfucker the fuck up, because he's one of those dudes. He thinks he invented football, and he's pontificating.
Jalen is one of the best in the business.
He's one of the best in the business. But you know what? You know, he didn't have the greatest game last week.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, he's human. He's human.
Jacksonville's not playing well either. At this point. The team as a whole is not playing good. And I haven't watched them this year. We will probably watch a little film on them, or maybe watch the game from last year. But I just know they're not playing as well. Bortles, especially. Bortles is not performing.
He's a bum.
He is who we thought he was.
Bum. And we let that motherfucker come in here and give us the business.
Blake is who we thought he is.
Bum ass.
Yes. So, but that'll wrap up our Week 6 edition of the Young Brothers Sports Podcast. Join me and O down here every Sunday for tailgating. We will be going live.
But we can't end this without the what the fuck segment.
Oh yeah.
The WTF? What the fuck?
Oh, what the fuck?
Yes.
Keith?
What the fuck?
Man, hey,
come on,
I'm going to tell you what. My what the fuck moment, we're going to go back to that second quarter. We're up 14-7. Bengals drive down. They're in the red zone, and Artie Burns backpedals and 5 yards into the end zone. Again, I mean, Joe Hayden, you said that's your man's specialty, is man-to-man. I can't tell, my man, because what the fuck I seen him do was back up off of a guy even more so than 10 yards, backpedal into the end zone. When the guy makes a break to the out, he's 7 yards off the guy. I mean, it was pitch and catch between Andy Dalton and Tyler Boyd. So I don't want to hear that shit no more about Artie Burns. Go get a shrink. Go get something, because your head is not in the game, my man. It's not in the game. But that was my what the fuck moment.
Yeah. Well, my what the fuck moment, actually there were what the fuck moments.
Okay.
Unfortunately, with this fucking idiot Vontaze Burfict. Vontaze Burfict may be the most talented linebacker in all of football.
Yes, I agree.
Most talented.
I agree.
But the dude is a flaming pile of dog shit when it comes to integrity, when it comes to character, when it comes to protecting the guys that are in this fraternity that they call the NFL.
It is. It's a fraternity.
This is a guy who continues to go out to try to injure people intentionally, as opposed to playing the game. At one point in this game, he hits Antonio Brown with the same forearm shiver, the same flipper that he gave him in the playoff game.
Who lost
gave
the
him
game.
a cut. Yes.
Lost the game.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, lost the game.
Who lost the game that the Cincinnati Bengals
You think he learned something?
won. Hell no, he didn't learn a fucking thing, because he's still out there doing that stupid shit. And this time, after he hits AB in the head, and gives AB a concussion, by the way.
Yeah.
AB had a fucking concussion.
Hey, AB
Don't
was
get it
woozy
twisted.
than a mother.
Woozy than a motherfucker. But he was able to make it to the sideline, clean that shit up a little bit.
Yeah, by the time he
Do
got
one
to
of
the
them.
sideline, he shook the trainers off.
Yeah, he shook them off.
Yeah.
And he was able to get back into the game and give them the business at the end of the game. But after he did that shit, but that piece of shit, after he did that shit, he tells Ben that Juju is next. That Juju is next. And it's like, dog, come on, dog.
Well, let me correct you on that. He told Juju, Big Ben quoted Burfict telling Juju, "You're next."
Yes.
He didn't tell Ben to tell Juju.
Got you.
He told Juju, "You're next."
Got you.
Big Ben just reported that to the media, but I mean, you can't be out there saying things like that.
No, it's not smart.
I mean, it's not
smart.
It's not smart.
And the NFL, you know, they talk all of this shit about player safety.
They're full of shit.
They're really full of shit. 2 weeks ago, they just banged TJ Watt over the head with a $20,000 fucking fine for slapping somebody on their fucking leg.
On the shin.
Yeah, on the shin. For slapping somebody on the shin.
Yeah.
They bang him for a $20,000 fine.
Yeah. He might have moved his sock.
Nah.
I mean, literally.
No, his sock might have moved down like
a little bit.
A centimeter.
Okay.
A centimeter.
Yeah, I mean, that was some bullshit.
Yeah, it was some bullshit.
Yeah.
And if you're really out to protect these players and to keep these guys healthy and to make this game a game that the youth can look up to these guys and emulate these guys and their mannerisms and the way that they approach the game. If you want all of that good stuff, then you need to put the hammer down on this guy.
Yes.
This guy's been fined over $200,000.
He definitely has not.
He's given up over $200,000 in fines. He don't give a fuck about the money.
Nah.
But you know what? Let him cool his ass for the rest of the fucking season, and he'll learn real quick. Real quick.
So
and by the way, the asshole just came back from suspension for PEDs.
Yes.
So probably steroids and roid rage. And shit, but
we're going to end every show with our what the fuck moment.
Yes.
And hey, send some in. If you got a what the fuck moment in, hey, send it in.
Let us know.
Facebook, when we go live, call it in. You can hit us up on Messenger. But we'll either play your what the fuck moment or we'll discuss your what the fuck moment. But again, coming from Young Brothers Bar, Thursday, October the 18th. Week 7 of the NFL season, ladies and gentlemen.
Are we trying to go live this weekend?
We're not going to go live this weekend. They bye week, but we will try to go live the Cleveland weekend. That's
nice.
The 28th. The 28th, we'll be going live at Young Brothers Bar.
Nice.
Come down and see us.
Indeed.
Peace.